Hey everybody, a frequent question that I get a lot is what do I say when I go down when I come here to San Francisco to outreach to the guys, and people say, well, gee Joe, you don't talk about disorder, do you? Do you use the word disordered? Well, of course I don't. They're not going to know what that means, and they're not going to know what that means specifically in a Catholic context. So I wouldn't, there's so many other words to use. And to be honest with you, I say that the gay life is up. That's what I say. I'm just blunt, and that's something that they clearly understand. And you got to realize that a lot of these guys that are down here and already in the gay life, a lot of them have already been through a lot. Now, we're talking about a population where almost 50% as children, were raped by someone of the same sex. This is also a population that almost 50% have some sort of mental disorder. We're talking about a population that largely bears the brunt of the AIDS epidemic. That has very high rates of syphilis. And that has also seen very high rates of an emerging antibiotic resistant form of gonorrhea. So this is not a gay, happy population. It's a group of men, specifically the guys, that are suffering very, very much. And so when I go and I speak to them about the real failings and the real bust that the gay life is a lot of times, it's something that they're at least open to because they see it in their own life. Also, I get asked a lot, well, how do you help someone get out of the gay life? Well, you don't really do anything because it's really not possible. Here I've been doing this outreach for a number of years as, an ex-gay guy that lived here in the city, that spent much of my life here, and they listened to me to a certain point. But you have to understand, when I was in this life, I had friends that were dying of AIDS, and many of them, near death, were really coming to the realization that the whole gay life did suck, and it was really a bomb. And even then I didn't get it because I was so invested, and it's all you have at the time. So me talking to them now really does very, very little. I would say next to nothing. What you hope is that every gay man, I say, in order to get out of the life, has to come to a crisis point, sometimes a very traumatic one. And it usually deals with getting a disease, specifically AIDS, getting dumped, having a boyfriend cheat on you, getting a disease from him, somebody dying. That's when they really at least think about getting out. It's kind of like the prodigal son, where he had to eat with pigs before he finally was like, wow, this really stinks. A lot of them have to come to that point too, and then hopefully, because they've heard my story or other stories, they realize that there is hope for them and there is a life. That's about the only thing you can pray for. All the worry that the church is doing about this word and that word and outreach and pastoral and a company and all this stuff, it's really kind of useless, because every gay guy has to go through that journey, and he's got to make the decision where I need to turn home, and I need to just get out of here. And that's it. God bless you all.